Welcome to 1189, an online Bible commentary. My name is Tyler Marston, and today we're taking a look at Exodus chapter 17. God has rescued the Israelites from slavery in Egypt, and as miraculous as that was, nearly instantly the people begin complaining. Surely, after the miracle of manna, too, the people know that they can trust God in any and every circumstance. Right? First, the Israelites are going to continue to doubt and test God's provision. And then we get a clear picture of how we can persevere through supporting each other towards godliness. It's all so that we can be united as people who follow God and trust Him. Then all the congregation of the sons of Israel journeyed by stages from the wilderness of Sin, according to the command of the Lord, and camped at Rephidim. And there was no water for the people to drink. Therefore the people quarreled with Moses and said, "Give us water so that we may drink." And Moses said to them, "Why do you quarrel with me? Why do you test the Lord?" But the people thirsted there for water, and they grumbled against Moses and said, "Why now have you brought us up from Egypt to kill us and our children and our livestock with thirst?" So here in chapter 17, same song, different verse. God has provided miracle sky bread for the Israelites. And their next words are, "Yeah, but I'm thirsty too." Now, of course, those feelings of desperation are relatable, and they're hard to live through. But the point is, we have to keep trusting God. We have to know that He will provide. So Moses cried out to the Lord, saying, "What shall I do to this people? A little more, and they will stone me." It gets so bad that Moses cries out to God, and he's afraid for his life. Soon the people might turn to violence if God doesn't meet their needs. It might be similar how Moses himself, all the way back in chapter 2, killed the Egyptian in an attempt to rescue the oppressed Israelites. He's obviously learned his lesson, but it appears that the Israelites haven't. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Pass before the people, and take with you some of the elders of Israel, and take in your hand the staff with which you struck the Nile, and go. Behold, I will stand before you there on the rock at Horeb, and you shall strike the rock, and water will come out of it, so that the people may drink." And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. God tells Moses to perform yet another miracle with his staff. And by now, this staff should be a major source of hope for the people. When they see it, they should remember the plagues in the Red Sea and how God has promised to support them, to be there for them, that they can lean on Him and trust in His provision. And the rock that Moses strikes is found on Horeb, the same mountain that God appeared to Moses at in chapter 3 with the burning bush. Back then, God promised to bring all the children of Israel to this spot and have them worship Him here. And He makes good on that promise when the water really does pour from the rock. The people are saved once again, despite their lack of faith. He named the place Massah and Meribah because of the quarrel of the sons of Israel, and because they tested the Lord, saying, "Is the Lord among us or not?" Massah and Meribah translate to test and quarrel. And this place is named that because of how they've quarreled with and tested God. They doubt if God will take care of them. They doubt if they should follow Him. And most of all, they aren't convinced that God is with them. Now, all these images of God being with the people is building up to the climax of Exodus, where God gives the tabernacle so that God can literally live with His people. Then Amalek came and fought against Israel at Rephidim. So Moses said to Joshua, "Choose men for us and go out, fight against Amalek. Tomorrow I will station myself on the top of the hill with the staff of God in my hand." Joshua did as Moses told him and fought against Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. For now, though, Israel has been tested with hunger, with thirst, and now with a rival army that wants to destroy them. Will they still have faith in God through this battle with the Amalekites? It's here we get our first introduction to Joshua, a young commander in charge of Israel's army. And we're also introduced to Hur, a partner of Aaron. And those two, along with Moses, go up on a hill to watch this battle unfold. So it came about, when Moses held his hands up, that Israel prevailed, and when he let his hands down, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy, Then they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. And Aaron and Hur supported his hands, one on one side and one on the other. Thus his hands were steady until the sun set. So Joshua overwhelmed Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. God provides victory when Moses raises his arms and his staff over the battle, again symbolizing the people's need to lean on God's promises. But of course, it's impossible for Moses to hold that staff up all night. And that's why God provides others, Aaron and Hur, to hold Moses' arms up. It symbolizes that we can't do it alone, right? We have to be faithful and obedient, but if we just keep trying to do it ourselves, we're going to fail. We need to have deep relationships with other people who follow God, who can support us and we can support them. In that way, we hold each other accountable and we further each other's relationships with God. And so if we live by bearing each other's burdens, as Paul will say in Galatians 6, and Jethro will say in the next chapter, we will have victory. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Write this in a book as a memorial and recite it to Joshua, that I will utterly blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven." Moses built an altar and named it, "The Lord is my banner." And he said, "The Lord has sworn, the Lord will have war against Amalek from generation to generation." After the Israelites are victorious in their battle with the Amalekites, we once again hear a command to record this for posterity. They do this through writing a memorial book and by building an altar. Moses names the altar Yahweh Nisi, which means "the Lord is my banner." This means that if we're united by anything other than God, we've rallied around the wrong thing and we're doomed to fail. However, when we live trusting in God's providence, supporting each other, and united by Him alone, we will see victory in the end, no matter how the middle goes, no matter how many times we're tempted to give up. As Christ followers, we need to follow God and trust in Him. But everyone knows that that's hard to do in general, and it's especially hard to do all of the time. And that's why we have the church, right? That's why we have discipleship relationships to support us in our times of weakness. When we're united around God's kingdom, nothing can stop us. Thanks for watching 1189. I hope you have a good day, and God bless.